you know, you want a quarterback for that class, but you want competition. You know, like I told you before, we had what's his name, decommit the other kid a year ago, and we got Steven Johnson. So maybe we're going to see another Steven Johnson coming in this class. So it's going to be important to get one done.
Is it busier now than it is during a regular season because of all the stuff that you mentioned?
Oh, yes. Yes. I mean, honestly, you know, we had a staff meeting this morning, and it was like, all right, we just meet on, all right, let's prepare for the bowl. Now we're meeting on official visits, signing day, try to wrap this last week up of going out to see them guys before the 20th. So it was a lot of stuff we met on today. So.
And then how are bowl practices different this year than last year? Stoop said he was going to change some things up. Have you noticed any marked difference?
Yeah, I think we a little. I think last year we hit a little more. It was more intense, and now I think our guys got a feel going to a bowl. So now it's more like veteran today. A lot of the older guys who experienced this, it was more like, you know, just go out and get an hour work in. But we got a good work in, but it wasn't as long as it was last year. I think it's because of our first year getting to a bowl.
With the 3-day period, 20th to the 22nd, do you expect most of those guys to sign on the 20th, or kind of each of those 3 days?
Yeah, you know, I don't know if any other school's having a problem. When I was out on the road just this last week, a lot of the kids really didn't know about this early signing period. Their coaches don't know. So it's like they thinking like now, we usually have something in February, we had that big day. So most kids is going to sign, but they still going to have a big day in February. But a lot of high school coaches was not even aware of an early signing day. I mean, I know, it blew me away. So now you're educating them guys like you want to sign on the 20th, but you still can do your big day in February. So, yeah.
Do you like the rule change?
That's yet to be determined. I think I'm for it because I know in the last couple of years a lot of people came in, some other schools and guys that we had committed for a long time, and then they decommitted like, you know, in January. So I think you'll get a good idea of what guys are serious about you when you, if you can lock up 80% of your class right now. I think that's pretty good. You can just focus on the last 4 or 5 that you got in January.
So if you've had a guy who says I'm coming, and they don't sign in the early period, does it make you look for other people instead?
Right. I don't hold that. I told a lot of my guys no. It's like, you know, now there's some kids that just committed to us. I mean, like a lot of guys have been committed to us for a while. I expect them guys to sign. But I'm pretty sure that a lot of these guys are going to sign. You know, it took, the high school coaches are not aware of this new rule. So they thinking like you got to have a big signing day on December 20th and then come back in February, and they're not doing that. So what I had to explain to them was that the kid just signed a national letter on the 20th, but he still can have that day in February with the rest of the other sports in the school. So I'm still for it. I'm still for it.
Vince, you had most of this class committed before the season even started.
Yeah.
To this point, has anything changed during the season watching your personnel where you've had to kind of shuffle some things and prioritize some other positions late in the game?
Well, I think it's just like you see kids decommit. I mean, we always constantly evaluating players. And some kids may be committed to you as a junior, and they don't play as well as they saw their senior year. And I just think like, you constantly evaluating players. Now, if a kid is committed to us and he does everything right, we're going to keep that commitment. But sometimes kids look and they see, man, am I going to play here? They come and watch, they look, they see the guys that's in front of them, even though they committed, they finally, you know, they zero in and say, well, can I play there? So sometimes kids look to say, okay, I want to go somewhere else. So it's a lot of stuff to go in there, but we never really had, most of the class we have held on to, and we feel pretty good about them.
Vince, how do you think the coaching carousel and so much movement from head coaches and those guys filling out their staff now affects the early signing period in particular?
Yeah, it's crazy because, you know, we battle in 2 schools right now. They just got new coaches and they trying to go in on our, you know, on certain other guys we recruiting. But, you know, you got to spend time with these kids and put the time in. You know, if kids have been researching schools for a year or 6 or 7 months and then somebody else just got hired, unless they had a relationship with them, you know, at the previous school, I still think most kids going to stay with the school they were at. Now, Tennessee is in a unique situation because they had an opening for a while, and I think some kids didn't know it. A lot of kids started decommitting there. But I think once you get coaches in place, they got to go out and try to get as many as they can because the 20th. And, you know, like I said, we got people right now that we recruiting right now that other new staff just came in, and they really trying to get these kids on visits. So, you know, we trying to hold them people off.
I'm going to go further on one of the rules that's in place in terms of, say, for instance, like Ole Miss, they're not allowed to go to the bowl. Some of those kids are allowed to go. They're just seniors or
seniors.
Seniors.
Yes, seniors. And then you got that situation, and they got some pretty good skilled players. So, you know, I dealt with that when I was in Nebraska when the stuff happened at Penn State, and everybody thought kids were going to leave, and you had coaches hanging out at practices, hanging out at school. But I think when they did the study, only like 2 kids left. So most kids, I think, they don't want to change. They want to stay with their school. But if you're a senior and you want to play in a bowl game, probably your senior year, maybe you look to go somewhere else.
Vince, is this a word you never use, or is this a bad word? Getting close to signing date, do you ever worry?
Do I worry about the 20th or the big one in February?
No, just about signing kids in general. As you get close to signing, do you worry or no?
No. I think we do a pretty good job. Now, we want kids that want to be here. And as we've been doing this now, I was more nervous for our first 2 years because we were still selling, you know, you selling 2 and 10 and selling just what we going to be where we at now. But now, if you don't want to be here now, after looking at what we did and taking this team and this program to where we at now, you know, we don't want you here. You know, we want kids that want to be here. And every kid we got committed wants to be here.